The Sharp Tank. No jumper. Oh, you laughing already. Look, you.
I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Hey, man. Sharpest, coolest podcast in the world. And today I got the beautiful, prestigious Tatiana Vidalia. Did I say that right? The last name Vidalia. Mm-hmm. Where'd you get that from? Where'd that come from?
Honestly, that was what I used as my stripper name back when I was dancing.
Ooh, was dancing, putting it off in their face just a little bit. How that motherfucker smell most nights in the club when you be up in there? How that motherfucker smell? Was it pleasant, or some bitches smell like they was probably a little off from time to time?
It smells like cigarettes in the club. What are you talking about?
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, like, originally, or where you reside?
Well, first of all, I wasn't born and raised in one place. My father was in the army, so, wasn't really, like, raised in one place ever. But eventually, like, when he retired from the military, like, I was living in Texas for a while, El Paso to be exact. And from there, once I was, like, 18, I didn't want to be there no more. So my mom, eventually, like, my parents had, like, got divorced, so my mom moved to Florida. My dad stayed there, so I wanted to go to Florida. Yeah. So at 18, I moved to Florida. Right. And then I've been there ever since.
Ooh, what part of Florida?
Tampa.
Tampa's nice.
Yeah.
A lot of good things go down in Tampa. I like that.
Yeah.
So tell me, you know, coming up for you, and I say this, when I do interviews, I like to, everybody comes from something, to get to where they're at today. And I've noticed, like, a lot of people they always act like they just popped off good, and I don't understand that part. They always act like they just started off grand, and it's grand today. But every story comes with a struggle. Every story comes with a darkness. So I'd like to tap in just a little bit of that today with you, and just see if you got that.
You trying to get to know my demons?
Hey, man, shit! Don't bring them here. We just want to talk about them. Yeah. Okay. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing. Was it always cool? Did you have a fair upbringing to where everything was cool? You didn't really have no problems. No trials, tribulations.
No, I mean, I didn't have like one of those upbringings where I guess there was like a sad story where like, oh, there was a lot of like child molestation and a bunch of nonsense like that. Nah. I think it was pretty normal. I think probably the biggest traumatizing thing probably like was my parents' divorce, because I used to get teased at school, like, because a lot of the kids that I knew, like they all come from like single parent households, and everybody was like divorced, and they were like, oh, it's gonna happen to your parents too. And I used to talk shit like, no, it's not gonna happen to me. You guys are just like hating, but yeah. And then eventually it happened, and I was like, oh.
How'd you feel about that? How old were you when that happened?
God, I think I was like 11, 12, maybe.
So you was young, but you was still old enough to understand it.
Yeah, which kind of made it worse. Yeah. Because it was like, I don't know, I didn't like that. Like, I thought, like what we had going on was pretty solid, but apparently there was obviously problems. Like, I mean, and I didn't know, like, I was young. So it's like, when you saw your parents arguing and fighting all the time, and just yelling and screaming at each other, like, sometimes the fights were funny to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's going on. I'm just a kid, like, oh, they're just doing them, right? But yeah, and then eventually it was like, my mom was telling me stuff, and then I was just like, oh no. And then, yeah, they both like had to sit me down, have a conversation, like, yeah, like, we still love you, but we're just not gonna be together anymore. Yeah. There's not gonna be no more of a mom and dad thing, but we're always gonna be here for you, and and like, and I think like one of the things my mom was always really worried about was like my father not being in my life enough. But she never like followed what the courts told her to do anyway with visitation. She wanted my dad to be like there all the time, as much as possible. So she would let my father like take me every weekend. Yeah. And I would see him all the time. Yeah. So I always had my dad around, and because that was important to her, that and she didn't want me like coming up thinking like, oh, like, I tried to keep you from your father, type thing. Right, like she didn't want none of that going on. So I didn't really have like those kinds of problems. So I guess it was fair.
Right.
It was a fair upbringing.
Yeah.
You know.
See, because I know a lot of people, like you said, you know, they actually sat you down and told you, you know, hey, we don't think we're gonna be able to do this, but you know, we still love you. See, a lot of people don't get that. You know, motherfuckers just disappear.
Yeah.
You know, motherfuckers be gone.
I got lucky. I honestly can say, because from a lot of the, you know, people that I knew and that I was, you know, around, like, it wasn't like that for them. You know what I mean? I got pretty lucky on the fact that, like, my parents handled it pretty, I mean, I guess you could say logically, responsibly. It wasn't really like messy. And if there was any mess, they did a very good job of hiding it from me.
Right, as motherfuckers should.
Yeah, they did their best to try not to let it affect me as much as possible.
A little bit of your backstory. You know, I know you come from, you know, you've been in the game, you know, been in the game, done OnlyFans. You know, it seems like your OnlyFans is flourishing. You know, do got pages and shit that be rocking. I do respect that.
It is now.
But do you think, like, you know, you say you seen your dad on weekends and shit like that? Do you think that affected you or pushed you more towards that lifestyle, or was that something that you chose all by yourself?
Oh God, see, I don't want to rat out my dad. Oh man, like, clearly there was some fidelity issues, okay, you know, there. And so that kind of like really didn't give me like a very good perception on men for a while, because I kind of felt like, well, damn, like, you know, if this happened, you know, with my parents, you know, then what's, you know, I'm gonna go out here and the same thing's gonna happen to me. And then everyone else that I knew, it was the same thing for them too. Like, I saw, like I said, everybody was growing up in single parent households. I didn't see anybody's parents together.
Yeah.
And for the most part, all the women got cheated on.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, well, then, you know, my mom would tell me things like, oh, you know, you gotta learn how to, you know, cook, and you gotta learn how to do. And I used to think to myself, you know, what for? What for if I'm just gonna get screwed? You know? Like,
well, you know, I just feel like, you know, naturally for a woman, she should naturally want to withhold those duties. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, nobody's perfect, man, you know, but you got to do your due diligence of what you are, man or woman. You got to stand up, man. You got to be able to, yeah, people fuck up. People going, you know, have hiccups along the way. But in all actuality, if you really think about it, man, who's perfect? All you can do is just be the best version of you. Your perfect you. Your kind of perfect. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers gotta, like, I think the world would be a better place, man, if, you know, we learned how to get over a few things, you know, because people always got petty problems with each other, man. You know, you go back to your mom and your dad, you know, they possibly could have worked out, you know, but it's always petty problems. People got to remember, man, in relationships or anything that you do, nothing's going to be perfect, man. You got to ride the wave. Sushi, by the way, catch the wave. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have to do some things, man. You're gonna have to go through some things. Nothing is easy. Everybody wants the easy way out, even in relationships or coming together, doing business with people, man. It's not gonna always be like that.
well, and to answer your question thoroughly,
Yeah.
I mean, I got in the game because I guess it was like for a couple different reasons. I mean, I guess a psychologist would probably sit there and say, like, oh, well, you know, you had those, you know, you thought like guys were going to be messed up. So you figured, like, who cares, right? So you were going to, like, it's natural that you probably were going to go that route. I don't know if that's really what drove me, but what really drove me was the money.
Yeah.
You
like the bread.
I like the money. So, and I really had, you know, a very strong mental fortitude for it. You know, so I went in that direction mostly because I wanted to make money. Yeah. And I was able to see, like, how other girls, like, were able to, like, really make bread like that. But now I wanted to surpass all that, Sharp. Like, I wanted to like really make money, like, on an obscene level. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I wanted to be on that Anna Nicole Smith shit.
Yeah. Man, yeah, she was a cold one.
Yes,
she was a cold.
That was the level I was trying to go on. So yes, so that was really what drove me to getting into the game.
Yeah, no, that's real. Hey, man, I mean, shit, you know, most motherfuckers, you know, they, like I said, man, you know, when I got into it, you know, I'm retired now, but when I got into it, you know, I got into it to make a better way. I didn't want to be penny pinching or playing games, you know. If you was gonna do anything, the era I come from, if you was gonna do anything, you was gonna do it for real and not for play. And you know what? Whether people hated it or loved it, man, hey, you gonna stand up for it because that's you. You know, you gotta take the goods with the bad. You know,
Right.
it's a cold game. You know, and I'm sure especially for you. I mean, shit. When did you first get into it? When you start like really fucking with it? Do you remember when you just start moving fast?
I'm gonna say it was early 20s.
Early 20s.
Early 20s. I came in kind of young.
Yeah.
My brain was like a sponge.
See, people don't do that no more and really soak it up for what it is. And I'm glad to, hear somebody like yourself, you got into it at a real time, to where you got to get some real game about yourself and have some real respect about it. People have to understand something, and anything that you do playing in the game wise, it's never going to last forever. Mm-hmm. So you got to get in while the getting is good. Mm-hmm.
Get in where you fit in.
Yeah.
Make your money, plan your work, and work your plan. Boom.
That's it. Yeah. So you say you was 20 years, you getting into it early 20s. Mm-hmm. What was the first place you touched down at that you felt like this is it? This is what I want to do.
So I started dancing, and
Where
I started dancing at a club out in Pasco County called Bare Assets. So,
Bare Assets.
Yes, Bare Assets.
Shout out to Bare Assets.
Shout out to Bare Assets.
Y'all got a real one in the building today.
Because like honestly, and you know what, I didn't start off like no small time. Like how some girls like they came through, dancing at some of them little topless bars. No, I went in full throttle, full nude, full liquor, full contact.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's a lot to do because dealing with people that are drunk, wasted,
Yep.
they gonna want to grope and do all the types of shit in the VIP rooms, and you got to be able to. It's a dangerous game because people got to understand something. Even in them clubs, man, it takes 10 seconds for something to happen bad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure it was a lot, jumping in like that.
I've always kind of been that way. It's like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna because of who I was, getting my support system from was kind of like, well, you don't have to start here. You could start, at one of these. And I was like, no, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all the way. Like, I'm going to do it 100%. And I knew that was where the more money was going to be at.
Yeah.
If you're going full nude, you're going to make more money.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I want to make all the money I can get.
Right.
So I was like, nah, I literally took myself and threw myself to the wolves.
I see that shit in your eyes.
I didn't care.
Threw it to the wolves. I had found out a little backstory about you, and it sounded like there was somebody that you was, and we ain't got to bring them no names, no nothing, but just to speak on it, you had somebody that you was fucking with that you was really, you had yourself committed to that I believe he had passed away. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, when I met him at the time, like he already had retired from pimping, So when I kind of came into the mixture, he kind of like took me under his wing, and taught me the game and everything, everything I know, so I learned how to crash them pockets from him. So, but I'm not going to lie, he kind of broke a lot of rules for me. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really, I didn't really have to go through, I guess, like what other girls went through in the game. I was spoiled. Let's be honest. I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna lie. I was a spoiled bitch. I got fucking spoiled.
Yeah. Continue.
I got spoiled, and and he kind of contributed to that a little bit. So he broke a lot of rules for me. But again, he was retired, and I don't think he was really trying to, 100% go that route. It kind of just started going that way because, more females started coming up into the mix. And then, he had gotten a partner, and, and then like they was trying to like, create a little thing that they was trying to do business wise and stuff like that. So it kind of started going that way. But
do you believe, I'm going to say this, do you believe that he was even him breaking all the rules and him doing, could you say that he was genuinely in love with you? Or do you
Yes.
say he would tell you, or do you think that he would tell you that he loved you because he was just afraid to lose you because he was a lot older and you was younger and ain't nobody trying to lose nobody? Hey, man, shit, that's a long time. Hey, man, you got a lot of years that was ahead of you.
True.
He wanted to get some of them, the best ones of you, but could you say that it was honest what he was doing with you?
I felt that it was. You know what I mean? I'm really good like when it comes to vibes and energy. So I felt like what he felt for me was real. But could there have been like a combination of like what you're saying? That's possible. I'm not gonna rule it out because I'm logical like that. So I'm not gonna rule that out. But I do feel what he felt for me definitely was genuine. Yes.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you're gonna be in the game, it's a different type of love that come with it, you know. And I think that, you know, women that are in the game, they use that as, oh, well, you know, he loves me, he's, you know, I'm special, I'm up at the top. But if you really look at it, and he got 4 other chicks that he might be dealing with, because I'm sure, did he stop even when he was dealing with you? Did he stop like dealing with other bitches to just deal with you solely?
Oh God, like it's hard. It's like it was just me for a little bit, and then like some more like kind of came up into the mix because you know it just kind of like went down that way, even though he was retired. But like I said, like he broke rules, you know, because obviously we were not all treated equally. I was put on this pedestal, right, and everyone else was just like a step underneath me. Not all the way at the bottom, but because it's like he never like treated anyone bad. He always treated everybody with respect. Everybody loved him, but I'm sure that it was noticeable that I was here and they were kind of like right up underneath. And I know that's not.
Yeah, that causes problems.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
And it did. I'm not gonna lie. It did kind of cause some issues where like, you know, there was some fights and.
Man, see, that ain't it. And see, that's why I was gonna ask you. I'm like, how do you think that, you know, 3, 4 other chicks that might be there and they're seeing this, they're witnessing this? How do you think they're gonna feel about that watching you? You know, it's not. There's no equality. It's no equal. That's not being equal.
True.
At all. You know, you the one, and I'm not knocking you. Hey, he allowed it. He did it. You just there for the ride of it, baby. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, you only gonna do what a man allows. You know what I'm saying? Shit, if he gonna put you to the forefront, shit, he's gonna put you gonna allow to be put to the forefront. But you gotta understand, what if that was you and the tables was turned? Would you stick around for something like that?
Probably not.
You know what I'm saying? Like, would you stick around if you was the one that was, you know, second, third string, and you see him putting this one to the forefront, but y'all supposed to be a team. It's supposed to be some equality, you know?
Right.
I don't think a woman in your structure, and just what I've heard of you and know about you, you don't seem like you sticking around, baby, for over 24 hours.
No, like honestly, I think the reason why I did stick around was because of the way he did things with me. But because I was young, I wasn't paying attention to like what was going on like with the other girls like that. It's like I was so focused on like what I had going on, like my own goals, like my own shit, like what I had going on with him, that I didn't really care about what was going on over here.
Right.
It wasn't important to me because my mind was elsewhere. I was so aloof, right? Like I was just like, whatever. Like I got shit I gotta do. Like I gotta do this. I got money to make, and I can't be like worrying about that. That's his job, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, well, I'm letting him take care of that. You know.
Well, you got to think about it. He never really put them problems on you. He put it on the other bitches. You didn't have to worry about that. That was all bypassed for you because you already knew where you stood.
Yeah, I was in this protective bubble.
You stayed. You stood at the top of the fucking food chain, you know, and everybody else had to go through all the shit that, you know what I'm saying, you should have probably felt too. It should be equality. Hey, if everybody need to get treated the same, man, in the mix. It needs to be some fairness, you know. Of course, you didn't have to worry about it because, I mean, shit, he didn't give you nothing really to worry about. He was the one that was sitting there pillow talking with you and letting you know that, you know, shit, it's gonna be, baby, it's me and you. And I get it, but if you're gonna do that, leave with her, you know? Shit, and him already being older, take the chick, man, and go. Go be great, man. Go have a life. We're all allowed that at one point in time, man, but motherfuckers be so afraid of what somebody gonna say about them, man. Live your life.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure like there was a part of him that did want to do that. That probably was part of the end game, but then he was, he had all those issues, and then he passed away because he had congestive heart failure. So
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, he had a murmur and congestive heart failure. So like there was no stopping that.
Yeah.
And it was depressing for everybody, his partner, his family, people, everybody around him, everybody that knew him. It was very, very depressing and very hard to get over. That was like a loss keenly felt, okay? And not really sure if I've really completely gotten over it, even to this day.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, have you dealt with anybody else since then? Or have you just been on your own solo tip?
Romantically, like I've it's been hard to really get on that level with anyone romantically, since that there was, I guess you could say, passing by standards, but it wasn't like really anyone that I felt was really gonna be as solid as he was.
A tricky dicky one night sticky. Yeah. Yeah. A tricky dicky one night sticky. Straight up, man. It's over after that, man. You probably don't even want her to call you. You could be like, bro, it was just one time.
It just, you know what though? Like I've never really had like a whole lot of one night stands in my life. Like I had a few, but not like a whole lot, mostly because like, I don't know, like I was always afraid, like, I feel like I'm going to get disappointed somehow. Like, I feel like if I give up the pussy, like he's probably going to disappoint me. Like I'm probably not going to like, cause I feel like, men are not really that, some men are like not, I mean, like a girl can talk about like being with 1,000 men, right? And I'm pretty sure like out of that 1,000, I bet you like only 5 or 10 of them really fucked her good.
I mean, I think that's within anything, shit. You got gangs, what I'm saying? Big old gangs. There's only a few that's really riders about the situation. Everybody else just kind of there. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's life. I think that's within anything.
See, but I don't want that though. Like I don't want meaningless sex. You know what I mean? Like I want, like
your mind stimulated before the vajayjay.
The vibe. I want the energy. Like I want all of that, and plus I want some precision going on. Like you need to have some skills in the bedroom. Like don't just come with some like whatever. Like you just putting down whatever. Like because I wouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
Like I'm a perfectionist in everything that I do. So I would expect like my partner to be the same way. Especially because I really like sex. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. Was there anybody other than him that's made you feel that same way? Like for real, like people you've met, like just from the time, how long has he been gone?
Years now. It's probably been 6 years, maybe. About 6 years. Mm-hmm.
And it still feel like yesterday, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anybody, and it's not about no name, can you just count one, maybe two that you thought you had got close to, throughout the last 6 years that you felt like, okay, this could be, he makes me feel the same way this man feel, because, people got to understand something. When a chick give a man some bread, her time, her all, it's very rare. It's hard to do. It's hard to obtain, It's easy to get some pussy. It's easy to get some sex. You can go get sex from anywhere.
True.
But can you get somebody's hard-earned bread, time, just genuineness overall? And they say they really down for you. It's very rare to touch that, and especially today, It's not a lot of real ones still running around.
Right.
So it's very hard to weed through who's what,
Yeah, I agree. I think I tried to have a positive attitude, as far as that was concerned, but I never really found, oh God, like, it's like I had high hopes. If I was to try to mess with an individual, I would have high hopes, obviously, because I try to hope for the best, but oh man, it's just like something would always end up happening, and I would just be like, this shit ain't it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a dub. Like, I'm gonna have to.
Me going through, I've in my past, I've dealt with. I've had a lot of people. I'm not even gonna just say women, just women and men. I've had a lot of people that have try to dumb me down or try to, play on that or, make me feel like, okay, could I be, try to do shit that'll make me scorned or make me bitter. But I've never took that to the next situation. I've never looked at it like that. I would never allow somebody to gain that much control over me that I take this and I pour it and bleed it all over the next person.
See, it's just,
you gotta move.
I'm not gonna
that,
lie though. It's like I got this paranoia because it's like I don't want to get disappointed. You know what I mean? And then like I'm the type of person that I love hard. You know what I mean? Like I love extremely hard. So I'm protective of this. You know what I mean? I have to be. You know what I mean? Because who else is gonna look out for that? You only got yourself to look out for you. So, when it comes to like dating and all that, it's especially being in this line of work, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of men aren't going to really accept this kind of thing. Like, they're not going to accept the way you get your bread, or they're going to, I don't like your Instagram pictures, or, I don't like the fact that, you're putting your freaking pussy all over OnlyFans, or, you know what I mean? Or, I don't like this. I don't like I don't like the fact that like a lot of guys don't have the mental fortitude to be able to deal with women in this industry.
Takes a special kind of man.
It does.
A special
It does.
mindset.
He has to be very confident within himself and be able to separate business from personal. You got to understand that, like, if I'm doing this, if this is the way I make my money, understand this is about business. This is about making money. It has nothing to do with my heart. It has nothing to do with pleasure. None of that. It's about money. And that's it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be there. Like, I wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't about some money.
Yeah.
Like, why else would I be there?
You got to think about it when you go and you deal with people that are, they work a 9 to 5. They, they pay rent every month. It might take majority of their paycheck and just shit like that. And that's real hardworking people. Just, what I'm saying? They really working at it. They really putting 8 hours, 9 hours a day. So, 10 hours, 12 hours. So when they come home, I can understand. And I'm just trying to look at it from that mindset. So when they come home, they be wanting a woman there. They probably don't want her getting ready to go step out, and go be a lady of the night.
True.
Not everybody's gonna understand that. And that's not saying that you wrong. That's not saying that you wrong, but you have to understand not everybody's gonna accept that. And if they do, they only gonna accept it for so long. Motherfucker gonna tell when that pussy starts feeling regular, when the JJ starts feeling regular, the real them come out, man. And then you wonder why he done went and cheated on you with a fat bitch, and he named the baby and had a baby with her and named it Blanket. You can't be upset. Like, you have to understand the mindset of the person that you're dealing with, man. Are they really ready to take in what you're doing? Because, see, it was for many years, me being in the game, I had to accept that, hey, man, this woman was going to go out and do whatever she was going to do, man. She was going to come home, she was going to take a shower, and she was going to lay her head right next to mine, and I could accept that. I was okay with that. This is not that. Being in that game was not for everybody. It was for certain few, and women needed women that were in the game because it was more women in the game than there was men.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
Motherfuckers got to understand. You got to be able to resonate with that. It takes a certain individual, man. It takes a certain individual.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it also takes a person who's also not very like judgmental. Like, I don't really like judgmental individuals because I feel like it's just a waste of time and energy. It's so unnecessary. Like I mean, especially like during the dating process, like if you gotta like if a guy like asks you like what your body count is or something like that, I kind of be like, what's really the point of this? Like, you really
that's some. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Whoever said that to you, that's some real square ass shit to say to you.
It is, isn't it? Oh my God, yes. I don't know. Like, I'm like, why is this? Why does this matter? Like, because it doesn't take away from me being a good person. Like, there's people out there with high body counts that are shitty individuals, and then there's people with high body counts that aren't shitty individuals. Yeah. So to me, how many partners I've had or what I do to make my money isn't going to take away from me being a good person.
Facts.
So it's like you should be paying attention to what's in here and what's in here, and nobody does that.
I like that you treated as such, you know, and you're very respectful. I like how you didn't get on here like some little sorry ass bitch and be like, oh yeah, I did this with this person, that person, this person, that person. Why blow your bag like that on a platform? Like, why? It's cool to talk about the stories, but why bring up the name and the people that they deal with, man?
I can't do that. I can't do that, Sharp. It's like confidentiality is like very important to me. Like all that stuff's going to the grave with me. It's going to the grave with me.
As it should.
I don't mind sharing some things here and there, you know, but it's like need to know basis. Like people don't need to be knowing everything about your life and everything you got going on or how much money you make. Like that's dangerous. The richest people in the world don't really be letting people know how much money they have. Some of them even dress like crap. You would never even know they had a lot of money.
Tommy Bahama t-shirt. Hey, Tommy Bahama little button up, some cargo shorts, and some New Balances. Man be the richest man in the building. For real.
Like, I mean, I think it's okay to stunt every now and then, but I feel like, you know, there's some things that should just be kept to yourself. You know, keep that private. You know, you don't need to. People don't. I mean, no disrespect to the girls that want to like be doing all that. Like, I'm not gonna knock anybody's hustle. That's not me. But I just can't name drop like that. I just don't. I wasn't. That's not the game I come from, Sharp.
Yeah, you're not built like that.
And I'm not built like that.
But there's some bitches that is, and they know who they are.
I keep my mouth shut. I was taught to keep my mouth shut and not
tell me, because we ain't got much time, but because I want to dive into this.
Okay, go ahead.
Like who? So when you tell me about your OnlyFans and how you would crossed over, how you transitioned to be able to fuck with that and take that, you know, digital standpoint of it and, you know, make that, you know, make some revenue too for you as well. Double dipping. Okay,
well, the OnlyFans, like, I mean, it was always like brought up to me a lot from like numerous different people, like, you know, you should start an OnlyFans. But I kind of, what I like about OnlyFans is, to me, it's like, it's safer. I mean, obviously, you don't have to deal with you can be on there solo. You don't have to do anything with anybody if you don't want to. You know, you're pretty much free to like put whatever you want, you know, on there and make some money. And to me, it's like safer rather than, you know, going, you know, having a date or, you know, doing whatever, tricking, whatever. Like it's just a safer way of going about doing things. But, you know, I eventually started it, and around probably before like COVID really like was going down, and I was going at it pretty hard for a little bit there, but then, like, you know, one of my pages got popped, and then
that's when you know you're doing some real work around that motherfucker.
Yes, one of my pages, like some of my social medias was getting popped, and I was like, come on, please, like, don't do this to me. And then like I kind of slacked on it a little bit, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't sure like how I was gonna go about it, you know. And then I wanted to like, you know, kind of like see like where I wanted to go with that. But then eventually I picked it back up. So I'm more consistent with it now. And, you know, because I look at it as just like a way to kind of like make more income so I can invest in real estate. Yeah. Because I feel like, you know, you should always have like an end game to like what you're doing. And that was one of the mistakes I always made, you know, in this game. A whole lot of money was coming in sharp, and I don't know what the hell happened to a lot of it.
Well, you know, you gotta, and I'm gonna chime in on this. You have to understand something. You know, people like me and yourself, we don't come from money naturally. So when you give people money in the beginning of their times and you start really having something, you give people money that we don't know what to do with it. So we ain't never had shit before. Like when I was young, I never had shit. So when I got something, I wanted to spend shit. I wanted to have things that I never had. You have to go through that. I think that's a part of everybody's life, right? Everybody kind of goes through that. Everybody in this room's went
I got
through
terrible when I started making some money. I got on that God complex, Sharp. Oh my God, I was terrible. I got so terrible. Some stuff had to happen to bring me back to reality. You know what I mean? Because I was starting to become like a little too full of myself up here. Like it was getting, because all this money, and I was just like, oh my God, the money. Like I was getting caught up in that energy. You know what I mean? And it was bringing out a monster out of me for real.
It happens. Listen, it happens to the best of us. There is nobody. I'm talking about, man, people that didn't came. I ain't talking about people that already came from money. You grew up with money. Okay, cool. And I'm not knocking those people that you were fortunate. You were fortunate enough to where, and you know what I like about those people are they just want more love than money. The people that grew up with money, they're just like, man, just love me. I'll be your best friend. I don't care about this money. This shit's it's trinkets to them. They just want a genuine relationship with. We just want everybody to have a good time. You ever met somebody like that? Like they grew up already with money, having money. They just wanted to have a good time. They'll make sure all the homies have a good time. It's cool. This is nothing. Let's just, stamp the memories. But there's people like me and you that have came up to where we never had shit. So once we start having it, just even a little bit of it, we're ready to, step up with the Joneses. We want to be able to show it and flaunt it. We want everybody to know that we have it because we've never had it before. You don't know what people treat you like not having it versus having it. So you run to that feeling like, let me see how people treat me when I do have it.
Yeah.
That's why motherfuckers always say, yeah, y'all motherfuckers don't like me now, but wait till I'm up.
But a lot of girls, like, we screw up because, like, that money starts coming in. We start doing all kinds of stupid shit with it, blowing it instead of saving it. And that's why, like, after a while, I had to really do my due diligence on stuff because I was like, if I want to have, like, an end game on this, if I want to have, like, an end goal, because you can't do this forever, obviously. You know what I mean? I do pretty good keeping myself on point and looking good, but you can't, like, do this forever. Like, you have to have some sort of game plan. So that's like why I decided to like get back on point with my OnlyFans. I'm gonna save money from that and then invest into real estate. Right. And I want to like do other things, maybe like stocks and
Well, it's legitimate money. It's money that you can immediately take and move it to where you need to do, and you ain't got to worry about nobody coming and looking at you. You ain't got to worry about Uncle Sam trying to come get in your business. I do understand that. You still take care of your other endeavors on your back end, and you do what you need to do.
Absolutely.
I do respect that.
Absolutely.
You smoke? You want to smoke some of the Zushi right here? This is some of that Zushi donut right here, man, from Tinko.
You trying to get me blazed up in here.
They the truth, man. They be like, hey, they the truth right there. I'm only going to listen to me. Just like in our conversation, us talking the truth, we going to smoke the truth.
Oh, my God.
I
haven't smoked in such a long ass time.
You want to take a hit or something?
I'm good for right now.
Sure?
I'm good right now.
Maybe after we get done, we'll go smoke one and we'll do what we do. But, I got a question for you. I got to really, do you think that every chick that, because I see that there's a lot of chicks, and I got to ask you, because you're a chick that transitioned, okay? You're a chick that came from some hoeing. You didn't pay somebody. You didn't did whatever you didn't did. It's nobody's business. We know you've been there. Do you think that out of all the chicks that are on OnlyFans and doing OnlyFans work, how many of them do you think are actually really getting a bag from it? Like, just put a number. You ain't gotta, just put a number. What do you think from 1 to fucking 1,000? How many do you think are really like getting the bag, not worrying about it? It comes in every fucking month.
I think there's only like a few of them, like the big name models ones, the ones that are probably like the most popular, like on IG. Those are the ones that are probably like making it the most. The rest of them, they're probably like pulling in like, I'm gonna say maybe like 5 to 10, and then maybe 10 to 20 to 15. Playing around with those numbers. Like, I'm gonna keep it between 5 and 20 grand a month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think a lot of girls will probably be within that range right there. And then the real bigger name models, like they're probably like pulling in probably 50 to 100 or more a month.
So let's stop at the 50 to 100 a month. How many of those do you think that there are that are really pulling it in? Because obviously them are the numbers that everybody wants to get to, playing on OnlyFans.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to get to, 50 to 100 grand a month, working on and doing OnlyFans. So could we say there's only probably like a solid 5 or a solid 6 that are guaranteed?
I only know a few, Sharp. I'm going to be honest. Like, I only know a few that's really getting that kind of money. Yeah. I don't really know a lot. And like I said, these are girls that are verified on Instagram. They're big name models. And they're the ones that are probably like pulling in that kind of money. Anybody else?
So you could say for like that game, for that industry, would we?
It's about your popularity.
When you to do an OnlyFans, you would already have to have a following, right? You already
Yeah.
have to build a following.
Yeah, you need to build. It's all about marketing and how you're marketing yourself. Like like you need to be doing it on multiple different platforms, and then a lot of it also has to do with your content too, because you can gain a lot of subscribers, but then it's also about keeping them there. What are you doing to keep them there? And then sometimes it's not enough to just, I don't want to give away what I got on there. You're just gonna have to subscribe. But you're just gonna have to subscribe. But trust me, like it gets to a point to where you're gonna have to like start doing more and more and more and more and more and more to keep like people like always interested. Like that's that wow factor. Like, oh, what is she gonna post next? What is she gonna do next? You know what I'm saying? Who's she gonna fuck next?
Right. I've heard a few men, right? I gotta talk a little bit of shit.
All right, talk some shit.
I've heard a few men say like, I could do OnlyFans by myself. But I said, bruh, like, what do you, who you think, I'm gonna ask you this, because you do OnlyFans. So can I ask you, from male to female, what preference buys more OnlyFans, man or woman?
The men are purchasing OnlyFans subscriptions way more than the women are.
So if these men got on there, right, and they said, hey, I'm going to do OnlyFans by myself, just, doing whatever that they doing. Could you, these men, I don't even want to say it. I'm going to leave that part of it alone because I don't even want to die. I don't even
They're
really want to
definitely,
die.
I'll put it to you
That's
like this.
kind of suspect,
No,
right?
no. This is what's going to happen. If a guy decides to start an OnlyFans.
Right.
Are you looking to start an OnlyFans, sir?
Hell no. But I'm just looking at like a lot of these, because I hear dudes be like, yeah, OnlyFans. No, bro, that's I don't know. That's just not me.
That would be interesting. You starting an OnlyFans.
I just could never do it.
It would be interesting though.
I could never. It's not in me. I don't know. It's just not in my soul. If I felt it, I would tell you. But I really just don't. I don't know. It's just
I will
not
tell
me.
you this: a lot of men are gonna definitely subscribe to that. If you're a man on
And that's
OnlyFans,
odd to me.
a lot of men are gonna be watching your stuff.
But that's odd to be a man that sells OnlyFans and it's a whole bunch of men buying your shit.
It is what it is.
I don't know. I guess.
Like I said, it's about you have to have to be in this business. Period. In the sex game, the sex industry, whatever you want to call it, as a sex worker. Period. You need to have like a strong mental fortitude to be in this game for real.
I just look.
Man or woman.
I've had a strong motherfucking fortitude for a long motherfucking time, but I just never saw that part of the game, like to where the man like
you don't want people to see your
you'll
pee-pee?
never no. But I feel like this, honestly. A real bitch that's been in the game, I don't believe she's gonna respect that about of me, man. She gonna expect me to do what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's riding good, smoking good, doing what the fuck I'm supposed to do about our business.
That's because you come from the old school, though.
Yeah, I'm not with none of that. Hey, baby, let's hop on there here. Come on. What do you want me to do? You want me to lick on your corn on your little pinky toe? Like, fuck no. I can't.
But you
not
have
me.
no idea the men that would pay to see you
Well,
like
you know what?
fucking a bitch and
that
digging
money,
her down.
That money will never be touched. Guess what? Because I ain't touching it and I don't want to deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
straight up, man.
Because I mean, there's some men out there with some fetishes now. Okay, like
Tell me one of the craziest fetishes you done came across dealing with. I want to hear about it from just somebody that you had to deal with, just even being in the game. Just a crazy ass fetish you done heard.
I'm talking about. Okay, there's guys in there that are into the masochistic shit. So like back even when I was dancing, I had men come in to pay me to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like also guys with like hardcore foot fetishes. They want to just sit there, spend a lot of money just to suck on your toes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this was back even when I was dancing. So on OnlyFans, like you got everybody from like people who are into foot fetish, people who are into masochistic shit. There's like all kinds of stuff. Like I've had guys in my DMs talking about, I want to buy your worn shoes, your worn underwear. I've known girls that talked about how there was men that wanted their toenail clippings.
Coming from the game, hey, oh my God.
Yes.
Hey, coming from the game. So could you ever respect another man that say he come from the same game as you, saying that he run around and he's sucking on toes when you done had men yourself pay you for that to suck on your toes? Could you respect him? Could you really? And he say he a part of the game. No.
I just no, because I you know what it is? It's because I'm gonna look at him like a trick. I'm gonna look at him like a trick. I'm
How
sorry.
you start is how you finish, huh?
Yes, I'm gonna look at him. I can't. Yeah.
When you get around a real one, she gonna say she can't even tell it no other way.
I'm gonna look at him like, I'm sorry, like that whole shit, like, oh, it ain't tricking if you got it. It's like, dude, it's still tricking. You paid, you did some shit. It's still tricking. Period. Whether you had the money to do it or not is irrelevant. It's still tricking.
I stand on that.
It's still tricking.
I stand on that.
I can't. I wouldn't
Sweetie, we're about to get ready to get up out of here. Any shout outs? I like this. Listen, this conversation went dope. I feel like we could definitely do more in the future because it seemed like you got a lot to say, and I like where our conversation goes. You can never learn about a person in one setting. And in one sitting, you know. So I believe that, you know, maybe you come back to the Shark Tank.
You want me to come back, Sharp?
Come back. Hey, it's always, listen to me. The door is not just open to pretty women or men that act because they got a whole bunch of jewelry on their body. No, the door is open to the real.
All right.
This isn't just about you with a pretty face. No, because you would have said some stupid shit or say some crazy shit. I'm going to call you on that shit. I'm not going to play with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I already done seen what you done to some of these.
Well, you know, I'm
females.
not a pussy chaser. You know, I'm not the type of person that sits there, you know, and let a bitch say some weird shit in hopes, oh, okay, she could say that in hopes to get some pussy afterwards. That ain't my game, baby. That ain't my end game. You know? So if you say some crazy shit, yeah, I'm going to get on your bumper. But, you know, you've kept it cool. You did say some shit, you know, I felt like I had to, you know, regulate on. But I feel like we could come back and we could do some more in the future, man. It'll be good, man. I think it'll be healthy for you.
I'm down.
It'll be healthy for you. Hopefully.
I'm down.
You down, baby?
I'm down.
You ain't down with Hash Brown Town now, is you?
Oh, my God.
I don't know what the fuck that was, but I saw that damn T-shirt, and I ain't want to be down with none of that. I didn't know what that was. I thought it was just, I don't know. It was
I don't know what that was either. Oh, my God.
Hey, man, I appreciate you listening to me. Tatiana Vidalia.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I've ever said the last name is in regards of an onion. But now I can sit down.
I'll make you cry.
You make a motherfucker cry?
I'll make you
Never
cry.
me, baby.
I'll make you cry.
Never me. I don't cry.
I can make you cry.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby, trust me. In the end of it all, you going to make a face just like that, only with tears.
Oh, my God.
Hey, man. Tatiana Vidalia, man. Sharp. It's the Shark Tank. No jumper. Sharpest, coolest podcast in the motherfucking world, man. And we out this bitch.
Bye.
Cheers.